Second stop of the year on the STIHL Timbersport Series. I'm Tommy Sanders along with Jerry McInnes. We are in Memphis once again here at the Ducks Unlimited Great Outdoors Festival.
Big event. Man.
Timbersports is a big part of it.
Sure is.
And the big man, Jason Wynyard, scored his first win of the year, picked up right where he left off last year, and most folks expect him to do the same today.
He's pretty tough, isn't he?
Oh,
you know what, though? Last week, David Jewett and Carson Bosworth, actually 4 or 5 guys were right on his tail. He doesn't scare these guys. He really does. He's a powerful competitor, but he doesn't scare them off. He really motivates them. I saw David Jewett this morning. He is determined that he's going to win today.
There's going to be some great races today. Already, Timbertina is warming up the crowd.
Our next competitor is from Diana, West Virginia. And if you follow logging sports, you've seen this guy out here before. He has won more titles in North America than any other competitor. Let's welcome Mel Lentz.
The STIHL Timbersport Series is brought to you by STIHL, the makers of the world's #1 selling brand of chainsaw, and by Ford F-Series. This is the Springboard Chop. This is a seeded event here in Memphis, Tennessee, as it was last week, and this is the first of the 3 foursomes who will compete in this. To your extreme left, that'll be Jason Wynyard from Auckland, New Zealand, Dave Jewett, who was our last week's winner in the Springboard Chop, Arden Coger Jr. from West Virginia, and Mel Lentz, also in this field. He's from Diana, West Virginia.
And Tommy, these events always represent something that actually used to happen in the woods. Sometimes it still happens in the
Sure,
woods.
absolutely. This is right out of the timber industry.
You betcha. And this is the way they used to top trees out, and this is a very grueling event. Probably Mel Lentz and every one of them are about 10 foot off the ground right now on a fairly substantial springboard. Yeah. Boy, to get some power.
Some more than others.
Yeah, and may I point out that Mel Lentz is making a great cut. He made a tremendous cut last week. Came in about 4th or 5th, but he may be going to beat that.
Well, watch out for David Jewett. He's your man.
Again
and
has
Jason
slipped
Wynyard right behind him. I think it was David Jewett. You just have to hold off for those official results, and here we go. 45.03. David Jewett just takes Jason Wynyard by less than a half a second. Third place, Mel Lentz from West Virginia. Dale Ryan takes 4th today, and Harry Burnsworth, who finished a strong second last week, 5th place today with 51.75. Couple of New Yorkers in this heat of the stock saw. One of them very familiar to Timbersports fans. That's Matt Bush from Krogan, New York. On the left there, that's Gary Hammond. He's from Berkshire, New York.
And Gary's the happiest lumberjack I have ever seen, Tommy, and he's especially happy right now.
Yeah, anytime you beat Matt Bush in the
All
stock
right,
saw, you're
great
doing
cut,
good.
Gary.
Let's give him both a nice hand. I'll tell you what, it's your first year in the timber sports, and you're leading the stock saw. You must be really excited right now.
Absolutely thrilled. I've been working hard at this quite a few years. I've been thinking about coming down and doing these steel events. I'm from New York, and I've been really wanting to put it together, and I finally got to a position where I can come down and give it a whirl.
Nothing would delight that young man more than to notch his first win here in his first year on the STIHL Timbersport Series. Now he's got to go up against Harry Burnsworth Jr. and Brad Turner.
Now our first look at Harry Burnsworth Jr., Tommy. Another family in the sport, and
yes,
he
sir.
Starts out very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that's the time that's going to do it yet, but he does manage to beat Brad Turner, the young man from Australia. Final heat, the top 2 qualifiers in the stock saw competition in the foreground there. That is Jason Wynyard from New Zealand, who's already taken 2nd place in the springboard. In the background there, Carl Bischoff from Celeste, British Columbia.
And I bet Jason at times has to watch himself in this event because he is so powerful, he will bog his saw down. Boy, what a great cut.
Just nosed out Carl
I still
Bischoff
don't think that that was our best cut of the day, though.
No, best cut of the day did belong to Gary Hammond, the newcomer from New York, 11.81. Jim Taylor 2nd, Harry Burnsworth 3rd, Jason Wynyard 4th, and Harry Burnsworth Sr. in 5th place. First year out here on the STIHL Timbersports Series, and Tina, Gary Hammond's awful happy to have racked up some first-place points. It puts him a lot closer to the championship, doesn't it?
Yes, it does put him a lot closer to the championship. And Gary, I know that you got to really work hard to get your finger on that throttle and get the RPMs up. Are you thinking about that the whole time?
The whole time. Every time you stand down, you look at the block and you try to place your fingers on the triggers. You get everything in your mind. You get it all flowing and run it as best you can.
Now, do you make a quick switch over as well?
You have to. It has to be completely perfect. And I heat with wood at home, and I spend a lot of time working with chainsaws and trying to get to be a better operator.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've proven it works here today. Congratulations.
Last week here in Memphis, Matt Bush didn't even qualify for the standing block chop, and Mel Lentz didn't make the top 5, so both these guys looking to improve their standings with this week's chop as they start out in the very first heat.
And I think that Matt could use that index finger injury as a reason he didn't qualify last week, but
he probably won't. But
he probably will not do that. And
but you know it is affecting him.
It has to be, and neither will Mel use an excuse of his major leg injury. Good cut by Matt.
Yeah.
But both these guys are coming back.
21:17, the unofficial time for Matt Bush. We'll see how well that holds up. 21:19 by Matt Bush is our best time so far in the standing block chop. The next two guys to take an assault on that time will be Brad Turner. There on the left, he's from Australia, and Harry Burnsworth from Mill Run, PA.
And Tom, you know, I can remember the day when there was probably 2 legitimate competitors fighting to beat Mel Lentz, and now we have 10 legitimate
Isn't that something?
competitors trying to catch up with Jason Wynyard. So this event and all the chopping events have certainly taken a change through the years.
Wow.
What a good cut by Brad.
Good cut by Brad Turner. Don't know if it's going to be good enough to best that time of Matt Bush. Matt really did have a good time, 21:19 earlier. 21.71 unofficially for Brad Turner. Getting into the meat of our lineup here in the standing block chop. Dale Ryan there on the left. He's from, I believe, New South Wales down there in Australia, and from New Zealand, Warwick Hallett.
And when they come from that part of the world, Tommy, they are supposed to be able to chop.
Yeah, it's a big deal down there
yes,
as well.
Sir. And watch Dale go. Dale has come over for the whole summer. He's going to be with us on our whole tour. Looking forward to watching him, boy. Look at him power
takes some
through that.
long swings. He gets that axe moving fast, and there's a good time there. 19.27 unofficially for Dale Ryan. He's shaking his head. He didn't like that cut at all.
I think he lost his focus right there on his last stroke. Would have probably cut off a second.
Jason Wynyard right there on the left had no trouble winning the standing block chop last week here in Memphis. Don't think for a minute that young Arden Coger Jr. can't engineer some kind of upset over this guy here.
This is going to be fun. How big is Jason?
Well, Jason's got to be, what, 6'6", 280, something like that?
Here we go, Tommy.
Won't take too many hits for the
Could
big man to
be the
get
chop
through
of the
this.
day.
Jamie gets a good piece of wood, though. He can
And look how
match him blow
accurate
for
they
blow.
are. Look how accurate
just like
these
somebody
guys
took
are.
It's like somebody took an X-Acto knife and cut those holes in those logs.
They turned equally, but at this point, Jason's power just come through. But Jamie with a heck of a cut, a little bit disappointed as he turned around and saw that Jason was already through.
And what a time for Jason Wynyard, officially 16.49. He's your standing block winner. Arden Coger Jr. disappointed to come up second, but you know he respects Jason Wynyard.
Well, I know that across from me is probably the best axeman in the world, and I have to put every ounce of my body behind it because he's got about 60 more pounds on me. And so everything that I have to put into it. And to be as close as I was, I'm very thankful, and maybe before the season's over with, I'll give him a closer run.
First heat of the underhand chop, David Jewett and Mike Sullivan. We're just going to listen as these two big guys go at it here in the underhand.
3, 2, 1.
Mike Sullivan got hung up at his unofficial time, 25-25. He just beats out David Jewett. Here in this heat, it's Brad Turner from Queensland, Australia. Arden Coger Jr., the young lawyer from West Virginia.
And I think that Mike Sullivan's lead may be threatened here.
Yeah, this could be the one that takes over.
Two very good choppers. This is 13-inch wood.
Brad Turner with a slight edge there in the turn. He's yet to chop a good race here so far in Memphis, and looking for him to break through any minute now, and there he does.
He may have broke through right there. Unofficially, that would put him in the lead, 20.58.
Oh, Arden Coger, tough time on that log there. He's looking at his axe. 20.58, as you said, unofficially for Brad Turner, and that'll take over the lead easily. Last week in the underhand chop here in Memphis, what a great race we had. It came down to our final two guys, Dale Ryan, Jason Wynyard. Jason edged him out by 6/100ths of a second, and Dale did not like that. Dale was expecting to win that underhand chop.
This is his event, Tommy.
Oh, this is his event. He's the world champ many times over, and he's looking to get a little bit of revenge here in Memphis today. Jason Wynyard probably has other plans for this race.
And again, I want everyone to not only notice the power, but notice the accuracy that well, many of these top choppers display.
One of these fellas likely going to be your winner. The underhand cut, Dale Ryan working as hard and as furiously as he can, but Jason Wynyard easily off an 18+. So Jason Wynyard, our winner in the underhand chop. Look at that official time, 16.42. He runs away with the underhand chop, as does he run away with the Carhartt Chopping Championship here in Memphis. 29 out of a possible 30 points for your chopping champ, Jason Wynyard. From the Ducks Unlimited Great Outdoors Festival in Memphis, Tennessee, we got more STIHL Timber Sports coming your way right now. First heat of the single buck competition. We got Mel Lentz, the winningest lumberjack of all time in the United States, versus Arden Coger Jr.
Couple of sharks going at it, Tommy.
Yeah, this is
and
shark
you know what?
fest.
It's about as much fun as watching the competitors watching their seconds who do a little bit of oiling to their blade, wedge at the appropriate time, and then give them an awful lot of encouragement.
Woo, Mel Lentz just barely coming off of that log before Arden Coger Jr. Unofficial time of 15.69 for Mel. That's a good effort.
That's a good start for Mel.
Good news for Brad Turner is he's in second place in the overall points here at the second stop in Memphis behind Jason Wynyard. The bad news is he's 15 points behind Jason Wynyard, who is starting to run away with things here, but we'll see.
Brad's second right here is Jim Taylor, who makes the majority of these saws, and that's the guy I'd want
Absolutely.
being my advisor.
Yeah. May yet get beat by his opponent here, Rick Halverson. He takes it off first. Brad hangs up for just a second at the end.
Rick just had a really good cut.
Okay, in this heat of the single buck, in the background there, that's Wally Robarge. He'll be wedging for Gary Hammond from Berkshire, New York, who has made it into that. In the foreground, Dave Jewett is the second for Mike Sullivan. These guys team up everywhere they go as regards their single buck sawing, and I tell you what, it's interesting to listen to them talk. And huff and puff.
And huff and puff, right. Glad they're huff and puffing, not us.
Come on, come on. Come on, Mike, that's cutting. Come on, what are you doing? Come on, throw your head at it, come on. Come on, it's cutting, man, it's cutting. Come on.
Dave Jewett's encouraged there and a really good time.
13-6. 13?
Good time for Mike. Mike's wife, Darlene, is at home, Tommy, as you know, expecting a baby at any moment.
After you got to about here, I knew it. I said, shoot, it's going to go off under 14.
So success for the team of Jewett and Sullivan there, unofficially 13.61. We'll see what the official is.
Just good at the bottom. You came down and you healed it right in.
Healed it right in, yeah. Good start, though. That's probably the best start I've had.
Mike Sullivan owns the best time so far in the single buck competition with a time of 13.41 seconds. Carson Bosworth and Matt Bush are ready to take on that time right now.
You know, Carson told me, Tommy, that he'd been competing for 23 years, which means he would have had a start when he was 1.
Or 2. I was about to say 2.
He is such a young-looking gentleman.
Oh, gosh. Oh, and he just barely. What a race.
Yeah, that was a
out
good
by
race.
Matt Bush.
And we probably have a new leader here.
Yes, unofficially the new leader at 13.14, Matt Bush from Croghan, New York. But do not lose your seat because the premier match of the week is coming up. David Jewett and Jason Wynyard.
Well, I think with me, I have to get a nice smooth start and use the full length of the saw.
The best cuts I've had, I get off going on the top and you just know it's going and you almost just kind of blank out.
And no hookups. I mean,
everything's flowing right if you just go on autopilot.
You saw how close the races were with me and Dave Jewett, and if you make one mistake, you're out of that race.
I know how to saw, I know that. And yesterday I tried to change a little technique, tried to do something that I wasn't capable of, and it bit me, so.
I think Dave saws probably a lot faster than I do.
He puts a lot of weight on each stroke. He's cutting a lot of wood. I can't do that. I'm 200 pounds, so I've got to go fast. For every 10 strokes I'm putting in, he's probably putting in 7. I had a saw that was real bitey and real tough to pull, but it cut a lot of wood. I couldn't run it. I sold it to Jason, and he turned around and beat me with it, and I figured he would, but I'm not going to run from him and hide gear. If he can beat me, he can beat me.
It's pretty amazing that we're getting those times down to around 11 seconds for a 19-inch piece of wood. It's just phenomenal. I never thought the times would get that low, but things are going great.
I think we're both shooting, you know, go for what no one's ever done and getting to 10 seconds for 19 inches of wood, and that's unbelievable.
David Jewett and Jason Wynyard. Earlier today, we've got a little test driving track back behind our arena here, but now the truck driving is over with. We are ready for the big match, and David Jewett would like nothing better than to get a little revenge on Jason Wynyard.
Think you can do it, Tommy?
Oh, I don't know. This is going to be one great race.
This is speed against power.
Mike Sullivan.
I think Dave can do it.
Mike Sullivan coaching Dave there, telling him just to make a smooth cut. He's good enough. He can do it. But Jason Wynyard once again gets it, fist in the air. Jason Wynyard from New Zealand once again.
By
a great rivalry.
Hundreds of seconds
Hundreds of seconds, and a great time, unofficially 11:55. Well, there are your official results. Jason Wynyard is the winner, 11:45. David Jewett, disappointed, 11:97 for second place. Matt Bush, Carson Bosworth, and Mike Sullivan round out the top 5 in the single buck. The STIHL Timbersports Series is brought to you by STIHL, makers of the world's #1 selling brand of chainsaw, and by Ford F-Series. The 1998 STIHL Timbersports Series rolls on here in Memphis, Tennessee at the Great Outdoors Festival. Coming up in this heat of the hot saw, it's Matt Bush and Warwick Hallett. Warwick having a tough day, but Matt Bush currently in second place in total points. Warwick's trying to just put a few on the board and get himself a little closer to the season-ending championship.
And I inadvertently called these saws, these Rotex saws, Rolex saws last week.
I don't think any of us could afford that if they made a saw.
Well, that was close enough. They are Rotexes, the majority of them. Russ Lemke makes the bulk of everyone's saws anymore. Russ is up in Hayward, Wisconsin, and boy, he's the best.
Yep, everyone wants one of those. Warwick Hallett is running one as we speak now. Matt Bush still got his reliable old 250.
He's got 3 cuts within a 6-inch span.
Woo, some good saw in there. I think Matt got him, but I'm not sure. Unofficially 7.65 is the winning time. We just got to find out who the winner is.
Yeah, we've had 3 good cuts so far today.
Matt Bush with his time of 7.67 holds the lead so far in the hot saw competition. Matt Bush is in second place to Jason Wynyard, but even if Matt holds on to win this event, he'll only collect 10 points, and he'll still be 9 points behind Jason Wynyard. Bit of a runaway going on, and as if that's not bad enough, Jerry.
Oh.
Jason's also qualified in the hot saw, and he'll be sawing the next to last heat.
3, 2, 1, go!
Carl Fischoff with the slow start there, managed to catch up to David Jewett. Looks like he beat him, Jerry.
Nothing but smoking times from everybody today.
That's some good, all bunched together, right about 7.5.
Every time I come up here, it's the same. Huh. Good cut.
It's pogging a bit.
Might have got on a little much. Did you crank it? Did you crank on it? Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
No, that was good. You beat you on, you were right dead even to the wood. You come out, your first cut dead even, and you beat you on the upcut. He came out his upcut
Just faster
first.
on his changeover?
No, I think he I think he
outside.
beat you. Yeah, he outsawed you in the upcut. Yeah. That's all.
I've only just bought the new hot saw, and I had a good run and qualified with it for the first time, and I'm hopefully just going to get 3 safe cuts off, and it's great just to qualify in that event.
Jerry, do you make enemies in the sport of timber sports if you run up the score? Because I guess that's what Jason is engaged in trying to do right now.
I don't think so. I think they're in awe of him.
They probably are. Just a little bit of admiration there, but maybe it'll motivate some of these guys to come train a little harder and see if they can do it next time. At least get within distance of him.
In this event, at this point in the event, we usually have a leader in around 8 and a half. We've got 4 guys already with 7s. So
yeah,
can that be beaten?
That's the important thing here in the hot saw. Your leader so far, Carl Bischoff, with 7.50.
Oh, bad.
Mike Sullivan was on his way to the perfect cut there, I think, Jerry.
You know, I was just about to say Mike will do it here, but he had I've never seen Mike do that before. My goodness. His saw actually pulled out in the second cut.
Yeah, that
the blade actually pulled back.
A saw handling miscue. Mostly if Mike ever makes a mistake, it's with his mechanics there, with his engine.
And then he had to start all over again. He virtually made 4 cuts.
Well, this is our hot saw event of the day here, Jerry. Yesterday, Harry Burnsworth made everyone sort of gasp when he laid down 6.16 seconds, a terrific time in the hot saw. And Jim Taylor was just about on his way to a time like that when he got to one of his cuts. The saw just didn't pick up for him, he said. They wouldn't grab for him.
And you know, Jim and his wife travel every one of these events just for this. He's in timber sports just for this hot saw event. And he'll be tough to beat this time. Although, you know, he had a little bit of problem
trouble in the
starting
warm-up.
his saw.
Yes, he did.
So it's going to be interesting to see if it starts.
Won't take long.
And it did. He beat him again.
Burnsworth has found the key to great hot saw, and I guess, Jerry, we've never seen him do it like this before. So Harry Burnsworth obviously is going to be our winner here today. We'll wait on that official time. Tina's standing by with him right now.
That's right, I am, Tommy. Harry had a beautiful cut. It looked like you beat him to the punch on the start and just had an absolutely fantastic cut. That must have felt wonderful.
Yeah, it felt real good. I know Jim's fast to the wood, and that puts the pressure on. And we talked earlier, and we said we were going to have us a race, and we did. And I was lucky enough to come out on top.
Well, there are those official totals in the hot saw. Look at that time for Harry Burnsworth strong, 6.11. Again, he just blows away the field here in Memphis. Second place goes to Jim Taylor today. Third place is going to be Carl Bischoff, Matt Bush fourth, and Warwick Hallett coming in fifth. You might also want to note that Jason Wynyard got a good cut in with his brand new saw and picked up 7th place in the hot saw. Add to that his perfect performance in the single bucking competition, and he is your Quaker State sawing champion, Jason Wynyard from Kawakawa, New Zealand. And as he did last week, Jason proved himself the best overall lumberjack as well. He's the champ here in Memphis once again. We congratulate Jason Wynyard, and we'll see you next time here on the STIHL Timber Sports Series.